Ever wondered why gym bros, they always sound so confident? It's because they don't let the facts get in the way of a good lie. Well, in this video, I'm exposing the 5 biggest gym bro lies that are secretly wrecking your results and breaking down the real truth so you can separate the facts from the fiction and finally get lean without the gym bro routine. Now we've got the modern guru of improve your life in 4-hour blocks, Tim Ferriss. And we're going to rank these takes from the bottom, that gym bro BS tier, to the underground truth tier at the top. So by the end, you'll know exactly what works and what's wrecking your results. And let me tell you, you are not ready for this one.
This is the very controversial Geek to Freak experiment. I gained 34 pounds of lean muscle tissue in 4 weeks. I also lost 3 pounds of fat, decreased my cholesterol from about 222 to 147, and the total gym time was 4 hours. So in this case, the 4-hour body is little. So it's 2 30-minute workouts per week.
So just in case you missed that, Tim Ferriss, he gained 34 pounds in just 4 weeks, and all with a grand total of 4 hours of training. Yeah, and you thought Liver King was the peak of fitness fiction, but maybe the workouts routine will reveal the secrets.
So you'd be doing 1 set to failure of very slow movements like the squat, 5 seconds down, 5 seconds up. That eliminates momentum. It allows you to make the load somewhat constant.
All right, so the magic must come next, right?
1 set to failure per major muscle group, 1 time per week, you're done. It is enough to catalyze an entire cascade of fat loss. It is enough to gain 34 pounds of muscle in 1 month, certainly 10 pounds, 15 pounds.
This might be the biggest lie I have ever heard in fitness. It is insane. So now let's step into reality so you know exactly what's possible. And you don't end up chasing Tim's numbers, failing and then thinking that it's your fault. The absolute genetic maximum for a lifetime of training is around 40 to 50 pounds of skeletal muscle mass. But Mr. Ferriss is claiming he hit around 75% of the human limit in just 1 month. Well, here's the truth. With everything dialed in, it takes at least 5 to 7 years of consistent training to reach your genetic potential. And here's how it actually breaks down for guys that respond very well to training. Year 1 of proper training can actually be as high as 20 to 25 pounds of muscle over the year. Year 2, about half, so 10 to 12 pounds total. And year 3, 5 to 6 pounds total. And from here on out, it's just a few pounds per year. But if we ignore Mr. Ferriss, there is a huge positive takeaway from this data. In your first 2 years of proper working out, you can make dramatic life-changing progress that lasts forever. Just don't expect 34 pounds in 1 month. This is some GOAT level BS. Obviously, Mr. Ferriss is going straight into the gym bro BS tier. So now we get to spin that wheel of gym bro justice. It's a timeout for Tim. Gym bro silenced. Stop besmirching the name. How dare you? Now we've got Greg Doucette sitting with a couple of young ones who think they've got it all figured out.
I've never not have abs in my life.
I've never counted a calorie in my life. Like I definitely don't even hit my protein. Definitely some days. I try to. That's really what I am. That's why my code on everything is gym bro.
Hang on a minute. Never not had abs in your life, and you've never tracked food, and yet you look like this? Yeah. So we've even got Calm Greg here to set these self-proclaimed gym bros straight.
It's like the average viewer's watching and they're seeing 3 guys that basically are, well, we did 8, 10, and 12% body fat. Very, very lean, very athletic. None of us are really dieting that hard. We're not really suffering that much. And then they're watching and they're probably 30% body fat, thinking, well, how do I get to this physique? But it's really genetics.
Yeah, so let's clear up what Greg is actually getting at. This study, it showed the wild differences in genetic potential to the exact same training program. And the participants, they fell into one of 3 groups. Group 1, the genetically gifted, they made massive gains. And this was the top 1 to 2% of people. Group 2, they made some gains. And this was the majority, 95 to 97% of people. And finally, Group 3, they made 0 gains. These poor guys, the unfortunate non-responders, were the bottom 1 to 2% of people. So, same workout, same effort, and completely different results. Because your personal genetics determine how you respond to training. So even if you put in just as much work or more as the top 1 to 2%, your results will most likely be way less. Because statistically, you're way more likely to be in that 95 to 97% group. And this is where social media warps reality. Because the top 1 to 2% of guys, the genetic freaks, on a global scale, it means hundreds of thousands of guys flooding social media looking like Greek statues. And this creates the expectation illusion. You follow their workouts and their routines, and you don't get anywhere near the same results. So then it cripples your momentum and you think you're doing something wrong. So here's how to actually approach this. You have to maximize the genetic hand that you have been dealt. So track your own stats, only compare to your progress photos, and just focus on getting a little bit better than you were the previous week. And we'll delve into exactly how to do this next. These guys aren't lying, they're just sharing their life experience. But when it comes to taking advice advice from the genetically gifted, it has to go in the half-truth hype tier. And if you're struggling to get lean or frustrated with your lack of results, every week I block out 2 hours for free 10-minute calls just to help my YouTube viewers fix their fitness plans. No strings, just straight up advice. You cannot sign up for coaching on the call. This is purely to get you unstuck. So if that's what you need to start making visible progress, it's first come, first serve, so click the link below to find out more. Now we've got Jesse James, and he's putting his cameraman through a body transformation challenge.
What are your goals for this challenge?
Definitely ab development. Always wanted to cut this since I can remember being a little kid, always struggled with it.
A lot of guys say this because they've struggled with belly fats forever. But then, just 2 weeks later,
Welcome to my world, boys!
I will say the past couple of days, it really feels like things have just kind of been on autopilot with working out, just doing the same splits. I don't know, the diet's getting pretty mundane. Just other stuff going on in my life too that, it's hard to stay motivated to complete this challenge. And
he is really struggling. And we're not even 6 weeks in. We're only 16 days in. And why? 1, he's already sick of the same workouts. 2, he's already sick of the same food. And 3, he's struggling to stay motivated because it's taking over his whole life.
You have recently hit a roadblock.
yes, very much.
What is going on? It's okay. It's okay, bro. I think it's important for people to realize just real life gets in the way of your goals, and you have to do everything you can to just keep going.
Yeah, so don't do that, or you'll end up like this, crying your way through workouts until you quit and rebound worse than ever. So here's his end result after 45 days. And what do you think the percentage chance is that he keeps going or even maintains this? Yeah, it's basically 0. You see, Jesse's gym bro worldview, it pushes this idea that normal guys should be like him to get results. But here's the thing, gym bros do not see this as suffering, because the gym is their life. They're living the dream. But when you treat exercise like a punishment for an outcome, it is a truly miserable way to approach fitness that cannot and will not last. So what should you do instead? You need to simply understand what is the minimum amount of training that still stimulates big changes. And this study, it showed exactly what that is. You can get 64% of your maximum potential muscle gains with just 1 to 4 sets per muscle group per week. And a huge 84% of your maximum potential muscle gains with just 5 to 9 sets per muscle group per week. Which means literally 5 hard sets of bicep curls per week, and you could get 84% of your maximum potential bicep growth for the week done. But here's the real secret. Doing that every single week for 1 whole year. That is where those 84% gains compound and you see massive change. Which is exactly why you cannot structure your training as a punishment. Because we both know, suffering your way through it, it will not last. Going full gym bro mode for a normal guy, that is the worst way to get lean and stay lean. So Jesse James, obviously gym bro BS tier. And now, let's spin that wheel of gym bro justice. Boom! Gym bro exploded. Welcome to the anti-gym bro world. Now we've got Lee Wood, a representative from the new wave of the online coach crowd. You know the ones that seem to have 0 experience coaching real people in real life.
I have an absolute revelation for you right now.
I doubt that very much.
No cardio burns fat.
Here we go. Here comes that classic line.
Is burn calories. Exercise and cardio doesn't burn fat, it burns calories. And then the amount you put in, based on the amount that you expend, is what determines whether your body starts eating at your fat levels.
Why do they focus on calories in, calories out? As if they've stumbled across some golden scripture revealing the meaning of life. Of course a calorie deficit is how we lose weight. We all know that. But you know what else, Lee? Exercise can directly burn fat too. They are not mutually exclusive. It's called beta oxidation, and it's the breakdown of stored fat into usable energy, or ATP. Now, let's talk about heart rate zones, because this is where a lot of the confusion comes from. Zones 1 to 2, low intensity movement, mostly using fats for fuel. Zones 3 to 4, more carbohydrates get pulled in, but fat is still being burned. Zone 5, now we're at 90 to 100% of our maximum heart rate. So nearly all carbs being used for fuel during this type of workout. But guess what? You do not just jump from resting heart rate to zone 5 and then back down to resting heart rate again. Because here's the key, fat burning, it works on a spectrum. You do not just stop burning fat because your heart rate goes up. Your body is always adjusting, always shifting between how much it is burning and how much it is storing. So yes, cardio does burn fat, and Gym Bro BS tier for you, Lee Wood. And let's spin that wheel of Gym Bro justice. Gym Bro jail for you, lad, to think about what you've done. And if you're new here, my name is Tim. I'm a food scientist and personal trainer, now based in Austin, Texas. I specialize in helping guys hit 10 to 15% body fat without letting fitness take over their life. So if you want to get fit, look fit, and still have a life outside of the gym, you're in the right place. And if you're getting value from this video, and if you want to train with me live and get your personal fitness questions answered, then go ahead and subscribe. Now it's my turn, and I've been going deep into some new research for this one. You've probably heard that if you train fasted, you need BCAAs to protect muscle, or a banana and rice cakes so you don't struggle. Well, check this out. This study took it to the extreme, testing people during Ramadan, where participants fasted all day. And remember, they are not even drinking water through the day. So if fasted training was so bad, their results should have suffered, right? But at the end, no difference in muscle growth between those training fasted and those training fed. Alright, maybe fasting is fine if you're still eating carbs outside of your fasting window. So let's take it to the extreme. What if you go completely zero carb? Well, you know those gym bros that eat gummy bears before workouts? Or those personal trainers telling you to eat a banana and rice cake before your workout? All wrong. Because once again, there's no difference in muscle growth. Whether you're zero carb or fully loaded with carbs, the muscle growth results are the same. Yes, the Ramadan and keto examples are taking it to the extreme, but that's the point. Because if you want to try intermittent fasting, or if low carb works better for you, but you're worried that it's slowing your progress, do not worry, it's not. So stop hovering in that middle zone where you lose a little and then you gain it back, because you're stressing over losing muscle. Commit fully to whatever works best for you and run with it, because your body will adapt. So training in a way that works best for you, underground truth tier. And for more coaching tips, watch my video here.